we're back, and now we know what the hell that footprint was, or at least I know what that was.
I told you all would be explained.
It's a trap!
Yes.
So
That's exactly what I shouted.
So this is, what was it? Appa's Lost Days, I think is what it was.
The last days of Appa.
Yes, the little halo around him.
The last temptation of Appa.
Oh, one of you will betray me. So,
Yeah. Wow, dark. you think Eero's story in the previous one was dark. Holy crap.
you know, I had a feeling going into this, I was like, okay, I think I know what this is going to be. This is going to be a backtrack of all the stuff that happened while they were off having their adventures. And I was also saying, I bet this is going to be like, what was it, Land Before Time or American Tail, where it's just like, the more we can beat the shit out of this thing, the more you're gonna feel happy when he gets home. Except you don't even,
hoop! Jump through the flaming hoop!
except you don't even get to the point where he gets home. They draw it out even longer, so that's, delightfully cruel. But
Great commentary on animal cruelty. I'm just like, I'm never going to a circus ever. I'm like, holy shit.
But for me, so going in, that's always the thing where it's like that Avatar always sort of throws me for a little bit of a loop, is that you think from the beginning of the episode, okay, I got this one figured out. And for the most part, I kind of did, until he got to that guru. The person that's just sort of laying there, I guess had a vision or a dream that he's supposed to help the Avatar. We know nothing else about him. I'd actually be fine if we never do find anything else about him. Like, this is his only appearance, like, I'd be cool, because it was actually very.
Yeah, wait for it. That happens once or twice with other characters.
For the little that they had him there, I thought it was actually very effective. But it felt like here's a creature that's gone through so much. I love the line when the guru says, so much of your trust has now been replaced with fear, and we have to work on that. I like that. I thought that was a very poignant line, and I like how
humans work the same way.
Exactly. The visual of. They realize is the visual of Appa when he meets up with what was it, Suki? Is that her name?
Yes,
the warrior girl. When he meets up with her, and he is just so. I mean, he's dirty. He's got spikes all over him, and he's got bruises. He's got chains on and stuff like that. And those images I always think are so good, because that again when you get to the point where he's gonna return home or he's gonna be clean again stuff, it's gonna feel so good. And I think it's the same thing.
In the meantime, though, it's harsh.
Well, and I think you have to have that harshness.
Jesus Christ show.
You have to have that harshness for when he does get to the guru.
I agree.
The guru really has to see what he's been through and can show just how difficult the healing process is to get back.
The show didn't pull any punches. I respect that, because it's like, no, we're really going to torture the hell out of this animal so that, that's why I think it works. I think, adults can be just douchebags and, what can you do about that? But I think sometimes kids don't realize when they're just picking on an animal or just what they think is having fun. You can mess an animal up pretty easily.
Yeah,
I hate it when people get pets for their toddlers or something, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, no, don't. Don't get a kitten for your 3-year-old. Doesn't work that way.
Well, and then people are always so shocked when they go to a shelter, like, why is this dog so angry? It's like, exactly, like, they've come from a family, there are people that have just abused it, have not cared about it, and they expect it just to go back to normal.
Doing when you get an animal. That includes adopting an animal who may have been previously abused, and that includes bringing an animal into your home with children who may not know better.
Mm-hmm.
More you know.
I was going to say, that there's our little lesson for the day. And I'm trying to think, some good fighting with the 3... we should come up with a name for him. What the evil Daria trio?
The Daria trio, yeah.
the Azula and the gymnast and the bored girl. That's always
the trio of awesomeness.
And you have a nice fight there. But what I got out of this, even more than like the animal cruelty commentary, I got Frankenstein. Because I got everything he comes across, every person he comes across, just somehow, even the ones that want to help him, like even Zuki has to like get the fire, say, no, go away.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were my friend, now you're trying to burn me, what the hell?
Oh, that
Nothing
scene was
wants to
so
help
cruel.
me.
I'm like, no, I know why you're doing it, Suki, but can't this damn bison catch a break?
Why couldn't it get on the bison and fly off? I sort of question that a bit, but but I think that makes the scene all the more effective when they get to the guru.
I don't know, was he that trusting at that point? Maybe she
No, he
thought
was.
about it.
No, she helped him. I mean, she helped. Well, you could argue they couldn't get on top of him in time because Azula and the R2 were right there.
He could have been weak, too. We don't know how much he could have carried.
I guess, but... Well, regardless, I think when he
Maybe
gets...
Suki's an idiot.
when he gets to the guru and he's laying down, and I like that he can't even get up without him growling, and he has to wait it out. I thought that, like literally the whole day until he's asleep, and I really like he has to do that a couple times. He can't actually go up and touch him until he's asleep, so he has to wait 2 days in a row to do that. So I thought, again, it just shows the distrust that has been built in him.
As I think I was telling you ahead of time, because you hated the episode where Aang hides the message, from the father. And it was not one of my favorite episodes either. I think I was a little more accepting of it than you were, but I'm like, yeah, it was kind of handled sloppily, but I know what they were going for. Aang's afraid, he's the 100 years of being alone, now he's going to lose his only friends, but you're right, it was kind of... They kind of really just threw it in your face quickly.
But we need to stick with our friend. Oh, he happened to be out there.
It should have been like maybe 2 episodes where you could have dragged it a little bit and not been so hokey. But so I was giving you the warning because I was like, yeah, Aang's gonna go a little douchey again. His friends.
But it's justified here. It felt right.
It's justified, but the first time I saw it, the funny thing is, I had less trouble with the episode you were talking about in the first season than I did with this one. And I thought overall it was justified, but I still was like, man, like, Toph pretty much blew out her muscles, trying to hold the tower up, and they're all trying to help, and he's just, Aang's just pretty much like, shut up! I'm gonna leave you to starve in the desert so I can, hop on my glider and find, Appa. That's the point where I started losing. It's like, I know you really care about Appa, but they can die. But, so... The one thing is, so I said, warning, Aang's going to get a little douchey again as he works through this. And yes, to some degree it is justified. I got through it. I was patient with it because this was a part of the series I had not seen yet. And this episode is the payoff. This is such a payoff to putting up with Aang sort of, being so kind of jerky to his friends because he's upset about Appa, because now you see what Appa went through and why Aang is so terrified and pissed off and being a jerk, and he's like, you guys don't get it. I thought the payoff for that was really, really great in a way that I think in others... I think a cheap animation would have just had, Appa gets into a little trouble and he's found and this and that. But I think to see that torture, you get why Aang's so upset.
Even before seeing this episode, though, because that everything Aang is doing still feels like emotionally it was building on top of each other. Because you have a kid who feels this great guilt from, for going and leaving for 100 years, and then he comes back all this misery, so he already feels like that's his fault. But now you have pretty much his oldest friend, even if it is a pet, is taken away, and not only is he taken away, but he was responsible for him, and he is directly responsible for him, and now he is gone, and he could not take care of him, and I think that's even something worse than when he goes inside the giant, he puts the ice cube around him, because... Like I said, stuff happens when he disappears. This is someone he was directly responsible for, and...
Well, and you do find out later that the Airbenders have a real connection with their bison. They're basically, like childhood friends and stuff. And so I get it. And I guess the only thing where it lost me is where he's just like, well, have fun fending in the desert for yourself. And I'm like... needs of the many, needs of the one.
But no, I can see him.
I know what you're gonna say.
I can't lose him too.
I know.
It's like,
I know what you're gonna say, and you're gonna pull
the
he's a kid card.
No, not that he's a kid card. That he has the responsibility of him has lost so many people, and it's had a war happen, and he wasn't there for it. And granted, he has new friends now, but now it's like the only creature that he made a connection to long ago, the only connection to that past, and he was responsible for, is gone. And he wants to say to himself, "No, I will fix this. I will not let this happen."
So, fair enough. A bunch of people died because I went into the ice. So my newfound friends that I am so desperate to hold on to that I lie about their father. Now I'm going to say they can starve in the desert.
The father thing is still bullshit, but
I know. But
first of all, he can come back, and he does come back. But second,
he does come back. But I'll tell you, watching it, I was like, I hope he can find him, because it was like, holy shit.
No, but I mean, the emotions take him over so much that he has to go and search, because you can see him just saying, "No, I can't lose him too." Like, that was an actual creature I was responsible for.
It's one of the few times where, for a show I think that normally sets a really good example for kids, it's one of the borderline moments I'm like, I'm not sure that's the message I want to send to a bunch of kids. Like,
well, okay, if you're going to go
your
that
friends
route,
I
mean, fair enough.
Again,
but they
when
spend
it's
2 episodes to analyze it, though, and say maybe that wasn't
I will
the
say
right
this,
thing.
when it's all said and done, that's why I think the payoff is worth it. Because when you see what Appa went through, you get it. Like, there is a payoff, which is, you see that Appa is in real danger. It's not just that, Appa's going to be sold to, some other owner and maybe he's going to have a nice life. It's like, no.
Well, he's the last of these creatures, too. I mean...
See, yeah, I guess he is. So, Appa's nearly going to die because of this. And I think that's an immense payoff for something that, at least for me, I was kind of like, I'm tolerating this, and I still think it's okay, but it's definitely some of the harder episodes to get through, because I'm like, man, Aang, they're just trying to help. Like...
Well, I mean, yeah, and I saw the emotional
they're not being Homer Simpson and just like, maybe we can get you a new bison. Like,
I think for him, if he really lost Appa and found out that Appa was, like, dead or gone, I mean, for him, it'd be like, okay, I have failed everything, like, I have stood for. There is nothing I can take care of.
And as I said, I think overall it works. And I'm saying that it works because of this episode. If Appa did not go through anything harsh as a result of this, I would look back on those episodes of Aang just leaving his friends in the desert and then going, yeah, kind of a dick move. Like, I know you're upset, but...
I see it a little more, but at the same time, yeah, it's a good episode to have. I like, again, that they add a little bit more instead of just him suffering and getting back. I like him coming across the guru. I just feel something about that part to me elevated it a little beyond just the suffering and getting message.
Home. I think that's one of the best lines. That's one of the best lines in the entire show. Like in your top 20 lines or whatever, that one about like you've replaced trust with fear. Mm-hmm. Those are one of the best written lines in any show.
Well, and not just for animals. I mean, like you said, just for people. Well, there's so many people that come out of abusive relationships.
I mean, again, just like the Uncle Iroh episode, I was saying that is the center of it. This is another example where that one line you could argue is one of the centers of the entire show. Because how many characters in the show are operating on that level? Mm. That is Zuko's entire story. You've replaced trust with fear. So many of the characters, all the struggles they go through, you've replaced trust with fear. Aang does the same thing, in many cases. I would argue even that Aang getting up and leaving his friends behind in the desert was replacing trust with fear. Yeah. Maybe he should have trusted that maybe he'll be able to find him later, but instead his fear drove him away from his friends. So, as I said, I think it works. It's just, you have to kind of put up with it because I was like, wow, Aang. Like, wow.
Damn, Aang.
Damn. But, it works because of that payoff, and that central theme in this episode, I think, connects it together. So I am saying it works.
Okay, I mean, yeah, so there you go. Yeah, just another good episode. Curious what...
Poor Appa. Poor Suki.
Curious what... weird, demented Bossing Say is up to now, because that place creeps me out. When I heard Tales of Bossing Say...
the tour guides?
Yeah,
I thought Tales of Bossing Say was going to
be like the scary episode, like a Tales from the Crypt or something, because I was like, this place is scary.
No, the whole... I love the tour guides. It's those plastic smiles. Just welcome
welcome to Ba Sing Se. Oh, you did your job? It's like, where's Judy? No, this is Judy now. That's not Judy. Yeah, it is.
I'm new Judy. Yeah, that whole Manchurian candidate thing they've got going on here is just freaky. Yeah, I thought it was great. So
very cool. Well, that's this episode, and I'm sure you'll see him in the future. You'll definitely see me in the future.
Maybe.
Until the future.